Well, afternoon, or should I say evening, guys. How are we doing? Still the 23rd of December, 2025. Time index right now. Shit, what's the time? Oh, it's a few minutes before 5 o'clock. We're supposed to be having these huge ass rainstorms, but I hadn't seen, hadn't heard, and hadn't felt. But I just seen all the dark, ugly clouds coming through here. Speaking of dark, ugly clouds, diarrhea of the Griever named John Weaver with the yeah, well, ranting and raving is soon, well, we're trying to keep the ranting and raving down to a mere minimum. Trump and his fantasies are still at it again. He wants this, he wants that. He's hawking this, grifting that. Try the biggest grift on the United States economy and everybody else for that matter. I'll send money over to people. Ain't happening. No, try this one. Threaten the world by building the largest armada you've ever seen. Gold, shiny, big, battlefield. One's beautiful. One's battleships. Oh, guys, can I talk to you about this one? When the world wasn't so competitive against each other, but we were. We did have trading partners about a century ago. And we gotten material, maybe a lot longer than a century ago. Well, we had trading partners, we had minerals, we had trade going back and forth. May not have been the easiest, but we've had it. World War I saw more buildup of battleships going after each other. World War II, even more devastation. We've had battleships of different sorts in our naval history of the world. We had the hardest timbers to withstand the hardest concussion from lead balls, firing at tremendous volume and velocity. And we had wooden ships sunk. And then we switched over to iron. And then we had to get something with armor piercing on those things. We did the naval warfare as much as my knowledge goes back as far as World War I. We had, you mentioned, of the submarine, the wolf packs from Germany. And yes, we did have we did have transport ships getting sunk, and not to mention battleships. But they were still out there. World War II, Germany going nuts. They broke Treaty of Versailles and armed themselves for nearly 20 years. More guns, more tanks. They had materials. They had trading partners. They had the personnel. They made the fleets of Wolfpack submarines and battleships. One was called the Bismarck. And I know there's a movie about that one still on YouTube or somewhere else. But it was based off of a real battle and based off of a real warship in the North Atlantic. And that was causing more hell in Hendbach. And it took the British Navy to sink the Bismarck. Because that would have been a great nightmare to a lot of people. But only when you have materials, when you have trading partners and you have supplies. Now keep that in mind. Trading partners, supplies. You have access to resources. Jump it to now. With the trade deficit going on, with the tariffs scaring, just jumping on people left and right, with our trading connections to a lot of allies, trading and supposed to be otherwise. When they're broken off ties, leaving us almost all alone. But Trump wants to make us in battleships. Let's just face it that he's no logistics. He doesn't know logistics if it jumped up and bit him in the ass. All he knows, he wants to see him now. He sees plans or ideas and gold plated. He's worse than King Midas. Greek mythology. Somewhere this guy made a deal with the devil somewhere. Everything he touched was gold. Curse of gold. Even food was gold. Couldn't digest gold. His eternal torment is turning himself into a statue. But we got Trump in the same damn fashion. He's traded his soul for gold. It doesn't matter. He wants more of it. He wants to see more and more and more. He's got this gold fever going on, and he wants it all. And the bitch of it is, you can't have it. It's just not possible. We have logistics. We have supply issues. We have trading partner issues. We have raw resources that we don't have access to. There are certain minerals that turn steel into something a little harder, a little bit more composite, a little bit more stronger than what we had. Aluminum, we don't sell aluminum ships. If we were sailing ships, if we were maneuvering fleets on the water, they would have stronger composite materials that would hopefully withstand an impact from a missile strike or maybe from a torpedo. But we would need to have trading partners to do that. Private companies would have to make contracts with other corporations from other states if they're allowed to. And the other thing is we need materials. All right, guys. Let's do the Google Maps, shall we? Come on. Grab your mouses, grab whatever you got. Let's go over to your browsers and let's type it in for the maps of the Google. Mine's already been typed in so many times, my system knows it. Says I do a couple of letters on this one. Okay, so what are we doing? Well, my default goes all the way to my home in California, the armpit of the Antelope Valley. I'm widening the shot. I'm widening the shot. I see the wedge. I see Southern California. I see the coastline of the West. All right. So let's look at the West, shall we? Shall we look at the South? Southwest? Shall we look at the coastline of California, Southern California? Shall we look at between Long Beach and San Diego just to get things to start here? Shall we? Okay, cool. Let's go to San Diego. San Diego has a naval base for almost a century, I think. Used to have a training center, recruit training center, but they moved it out. And the peninsula of Coronado hosts a military base as well as an airport, as well as civilian, but they also support military operations. So while you're going through the San Diego Bay and you're looking at this stuff here, kind of tighten up the shot a little bit, okay? Where are you going to start at? Well, where are we starting at is at the bottom of the bay, okay? Manufacturing, wetlands, see private yachts, you see private areas where they got small ships. Yacht clubs, this is for sailing. You got resorts along the area. Wildlife research, okay? And you've got more area for cargo. Now, looking on the east side, which you have the mainland, and I'm going to look at Coronado next, but I just want to look at the east side. In this section here is the San Diego base that we have. There's the 5 freeway going across it. But on the left hand, along the coastline here, this is cargo and military. This is San Diego Naval Yard. In this area, they would have transport ships. They would have smaller amphibious assault vehicles. They would have museums. But they would also have their frigates, LSTs if they had them. And occasionally they would have aircraft carriers. And it's a big place. At one time, they had the training center over here. I remember because I saw it. And I was over there during my brother's graduation back in the 70s. And I'm looking at, where is it, 8th Street or where were you at? 8th Street. Okay, here we go. 8th Street Gate. Right by the 5 freeway. Now, on the picture and the time that they took the Google Maps, they got a flotilla. They've got buildings all over the damn place. They've got parking lots, but this is all USN, guys. This is 8th Street. If I look down further, I can try to see. Okay, destroyers, frigates. Helicopter? No. That's an L. Various warships. Various classes. Some with pointy bows. Newer classes have been out there for about 20, 25 years. Older classes have been out there since about 34 years. But that would consider the bulk of the fleet at that time. Already past a command ship, or any one of them could be a command ship, as long as you got the Admiralty on board. But you got specialty carriers that would have helicopters and amphibious assault vehicles inside of it. Let's see, cargoes. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at an entire flotilla. One thing I hadn't seen over there, close enough, is, well, let's see, they got plenty of carriers. Just not the aircraft carriers I keep expecting. But they also have specialty docks to do repair work. They have a couple of dry docks to do refurbishing, repair work. And usually those ships would stay in there for about months as they try to get their ships worked on. It's a big, huge place, I'll tell you that much. It's big and huge. And at one time, because they did have a bridge going over there. Okay. They had the Recruit Training Center. Let's see, what was it on the 75th? On the right by the San Diego Coronado Bridge. So on the northwest, or north side of it, long time ago. Some of those areas that I've seen look like it was manufacturing. It used to be a training center for the United States Navy. And it was close enough to the San Diego airport. But I remember it. I remember it. They used to have a wooden, or actually a cement ship. They'd called it the U.S. Neversail. And the U.S. Neversail was just a training vessel. I'd seen it from pictures, just never seen the actual. But they took that out when they took out the training center. And right across the bay, well, actually, right next to them was the United States Marine Corps Training Center as well. I don't know when they took it out either. But as far as I can understand, that from the Coronado Bridge all the way down to the 8th Street and then a little further down south, it's the naval yard that they had across the street, across the bay, right where that extension goes out into the bay. It's the Coronado area. Civilians would live over there, but also, let's see, civilians would live over there. Hotel Coronado, mainstay figure, longer than I have been born. And golf courses, shopping centers, their own military airbase. Naval Lodge, North Island. That's where the squadrons will be. And not to mention Navy SEALs would be based at. And the Marine Corps, I think. But that's what it entailed with the Coronado Island. Well, they call it the island, but it's still an extension of it anyway, so. But as far as I saw, I didn't see any potential areas to build ships, except maybe in dry dock, but there's no shipyard to build. There's only shipyards to contain a fleet. Repair, yes. To build? No. No. So, let me head over to Long Beach. And heading over to Long Beach, California. 20s, 30s, 40s, or probably in the 1800s, earlier than that, I guess. Long Beach was a happening shipyard. Long Beach right now is nothing but cargo, and so is Port of Los Angeles. There used to be, in this whole area, shipyards that can actually build stuff, and was a naval base for Long Beach. They would also do repairs. Now, since they had decommissioned it a long time ago, before I was, well, maybe a little after I was born, they turned it all into civilian and cargo areas. So it's an economic powerhouse for Southern California, where we get our cargo from a lot of portions of the world, if we still had trading partners. Okay, show you another base that we actually have. That's also not so much for repair, but for defense and for other things. We go to Oxnard and we go to Point Hueneme. And we have the air base out there. Oxnard. Point Mugu. Big base. Big base. Up the coastline, Point Hueneme. It's where you have the construction battalion and also a CB base over there. We would get frigates parked more and transports over there too. But not much on combat. Not much on combat. There might be a few combat ships that are parked over there. And a smaller aircraft transport vehicle. Or probably helicopters or something like that. No, what I'm looking at is a cargo vessel. Okay, so, but they would go over to different places, either by air or by sea, and do their construction. They have civilian harbors all over the place in Ventura, Channel Island Beach. Okay, so let me go further. We're going up to San Francisco. Somewhere in there. There's the bay. There's the bay. Civilian. Alameda used to be a military hotspot. Now it's just civilian and, well, just that, civilian. But it used to be a military base. It could, maybe a long time ago, had been construction because they would have had construction over there. But over the years, no longer. I'm not quite sure if the base is still active or not. Don't think so, because I haven't heard anything about the Alameda base being active. I'm going to go further north. I'm going over to Bremerton, Washington. Came past Portland. There we go. Bremerton is where they would do the dry docks. Now, I know somewhere in the California coast, or actually in the West Coast, there was a fleet of deserted, rotting, and just obsolete fleets of floating wrecks. I don't know where the hell they got the damn things at. But there weren't along the coastline, I can tell you that much. In Washington, Bremerton is inward. But they have channels for people to cross through. Bremerton, I remember a long time ago, my brother was telling me stories about it, that they would do a lot of dry docking, but they never did any ship construction, at least not what I remembered. They may have a long time ago. But on the West Coast, we need the materials. We need everything else for it. So I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing. I'm looking at civilians. I'm trying to find. Also in Bremerton, there was a sub pen. There was, well, there's stuff for the military in there somewhere. I mean, I could throw the United States Navy in there and just saying. Just saying. Why not? Okay. United States Navy. Bremerton. Well, that's not going to help me much. Okay. SAC shipyards. I am so damn out of it that I don't know if the information I have is accurate or not. But I have found a shipyard, and I found a Navy base out there. Navy docks for Bremerton. I just typed it out and it came out with the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. You're going to be asking me why this is so important. Well, Trump wants to get something built. He's got to have the storage capacity for it. Now, in the Puget Sound in Bremerton, they have destroyers. They have carriers under construction. Yeah, under construction. Or actually, repair work or something for one particular aircraft. They're not tearing it apart. And found the sub pens. This was dated years ago. Some time ago. Yeah, I found Bremerton. I found a shipyard for the Navy. Capacity for storing ships, but when it came down for building ships, forget it. And through this area, they can navigate their way into the waters, through the Sound and to the Pacific. They can do repairs, but the thing is they can't do construction. They're not equipped. Do another video.